And that is how the king found his truly beloved amongst the ancient stars of Bethlehem. The end. Was this story to your liking, my dear? I had hoped it wouldn't be too dull, but alas, you seem to have loved it. I'm quite surprised. What's that? Another story? My dear one, if we continue at this rate, we'll be done with the entirety of the library before dawn even shows. Come now, you need your rest. It wouldn't be proper of me to allow one of my own to continue in sickness. Ah, my thanks, Gloria, but I will take it from here. No, I assure you that it is fine. Everything is under control. My work can wait. I would rather spend more time here than dealing with any more trivial matters. Do not worry. Go on now, I can take it from here. My dear one is in good hands. Now, my dear, are you able to sit up? Here, let me help you. Good. There you go, darling. Hold a moment. There. Now, open. Is something the matter? Your face is flushed. Has your fever risen again? No? Ah. You've never been fed before like this. Allow me to be the first. Come now. Open. There. How does it taste? Is it warm enough? I am happy to hear that. Come. There now. Be sure to take every single drop. Okay. I'll be checking your temperature again now. Hold still for me. It hasn't worsened. However, nothing much has changed. No matter. With a bit more bed rest, you'll be up on your own 2 feet soon enough. Yes, my dear? You wish to hear another story? But we couldn't possibly... A story about me? A curious heart, I see. I suppose I could tell you one more story, but right after, you shall rest. Understand? Very good. Now, what story to tell you? Of my family? That is too boring of a tale, my dear. You wouldn't want to. Quite insistent you are today. Very well. A tale of my family it is. Where to begin? It's been so long that those memories are almost a faded mystery. My father. He was a peddler, a merchant of sorts. He would travel from town to town, purchasing and selling whatever he could to make a living. On one of these trips of his, he happened to stumble upon a noble household, and within this house was a woman of beauty unlike anyone he has ever laid his eyes on. The woman had golden locks of hair, skin so fair you'd believe she herself was made by God to be an angel. Her expression was always kind and gentle, but what truly enraptured my father were her eyes, a pair of sapphires carved in such detail that one could see the very stars within them, as they sparkled alongside the bright lights of day. As you may tell, my father was enamored. He would tell me that his heart had never raced so fast as that day. And so he did what he could to meet this wonderful lady. But, alas, the grand head of the noble house was a fierce man of notable strength and reputation. When he confronted my father, he had warned him about ever coming near his daughter. My father described him to be a ruthless man, with scars covering each corner of his figure and face. A battle-worn warrior, now down in his age. This, however, changed nothing of his opinion about my father. My father was not a fighter, I can tell you that much. He knew currencies, trading, markets, anything a peddler would know, and more. But this was not enough for him to convince the old warrior otherwise. He wished to speak to her, but was easily denied. And so, my father did what any man could, and asked the man what it would take to convince him to speak to his daughter. Eleanor. That was her name. Eleanor. The hardened warrior told my father this: "You are to bring me 50,000 in gold by the end of this year. Only then will you be able to speak to my daughter." It does not take an intelligent creature to know that the number was beyond comprehension for anyone to accomplish within a year, let alone a king himself. Not impossible, but for a simple peddler, you can only imagine. The brute was convinced that he had shattered any hopes my father had, but, on the contrary, he had only risen them higher. He had given my father a ray of hope that he more than willingly latched onto and never let go of. And can you guess what happened next? If only, my dear, if only. Instead, from the amount of exerted work my father had put in, he had only managed to come up to half that amount, which, even in today's standards, is quite the handsome amount. But his worries about failing the task given to him by the nobleman were true and harsh. When my father returned to the noble house, he had discovered that Eleanor was about to be promised to another man. When he confronted the head of the house, all the man could do was shake his head, furthering my father's hopes into despair. But, just as he was about to leave, he heard a voice call out to him, begging him to wait. "Do not go." When he turned to see where the elegant voice came from, he realized it was Eleanor herself, rushing to greet him. You see, my dear one, the head of the house had given my father the impossible because he wanted to be sure that he was a man of fortitude and a caring heart. One who could sacrifice his life for the sake of another. Even when my father knew he did not have enough to complete the task given, he still decided to return and show his face with the little amount of pride he had left. But what my father didn't know was that the 50,000 in gold was simply a challenge, not only to prove himself, but to also gather enough funds so that the head of the house would feel satisfied knowing that his precious daughter would not go hungry in the years to come. My father had been played, yes, but only to his benefit. Because Eleanor, dear Eleanor, quickly denied the present bachelor and decided to take a stroll around the neighborhood gardens alongside my father. And within those gentle moments, love was born. And from that love, I was born. I can tell you that my father never grew tired of telling me that story. And my mother would always keep a precious smile of the likes I've never seen elsewhere before. Although, that was until I met you, my dear. You remind me of her elegance, a grace that would make even the angels jealous. It has gotten late. It is time for you to rest some more. Yes, once you're fully recovered, we shall visit the town square once again. Do not worry. Rest now, my dear. Tomorrow, there'll be a brand new day.